it is.
Okay.
Okay. So Chris, could you tell me a little bit about what you think are the most important things teachers should know about teaching English language learners in a social studies classroom?
Most important things that they should know? Well, in some ways it's like any other teaching, or at least any other teaching for young people. They need to be able to build relationships with the young people. The relationships are very important for motivation. I think if a student really believes that the teacher understands them and cares about them, and if the student really can actually make some meaningful connection or perhaps even identify with the teacher somehow, then the teacher is just going to, the student is going to be more motivated and probably going to have much better educational outcomes. But I think for the language learners, that's even more intense. They're making a decision about whether they want to make a huge investment in learning this language, of the frustration, the humiliation, the threat to their personal identity, and they've got to feel that they're going to get some return on that investment, and that partially they're looking at that teacher because that teacher is like a diplomat from the target language and the target culture, a representative of the school and the nation, and they're looking at that teacher saying, is this something, my relationship with this person, it represents their relationship with the nation, their opportunities in this nation. If they can't make a connection to that teacher, then they're probably not going to do so well. But that kind of connects to everything else, because if the teacher doesn't know the learner, doesn't know the learner's culture, doesn't understand how frustrating and threatening it is to learn a language, then the teacher is not going to make that connection. So it kind of envelops everything else.
And is there anything specific to the particular subjects that you teach that you think are important?
Like social studies? I think the first time I saw a social studies teacher who was specializing in ELLs teach a class of ELLs, teach American history to a class of ELLs, I found it absolutely fascinating because she knew what they knew and what they didn't know. She already knew because she had this experience. And I guess that's the main difference. When you're teaching American kids, you can often assume that they know certain things about American history. They've spent their entire life in this country, or at least American cultural schema. You can talk about the Great Plains and the Rocky Mountains and know that they have some picture in their head about what the Great Plains look like and what the Rocky Mountains look like. If you talk about the Revolution, they've probably seen movies and they can visualize it, right? But with the ELLs, it's not like that. The experienced teacher has to be able to know that they don't have that schema and background, and has to be able to give them visuals and fill them in, fill up those gaps. I think that's going to be extremely challenging if these ELLs are in an inclusion situation with mainstream kids, because you don't want to make your lesson totally inappropriate for the mainstream kids just to serve this inclusion population, right?
Great, thank you. Any other points you want to add?
Oh.
No? You feel good? Good.
Yeah.